probably one. And we are live. What is up, everybody? How's it going? Austin prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're having a good day so far. Today, I am joined by a special guest, Lauren. Say hi, Lauren. How's it going? having a good Tuesday so far?
It's been pretty good so far. A little hectic, but good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we were just talking before the live about the joy of parenting and how you pretty much never get like a quiet moment to yourself or just even time to like think. So
yeah. So I'll just
cool.
say, excuse me if my children run in. So
that's expected, honestly. So that's part of being a parent. So a lot of people that follow me and follow like the lives and things like that, they're all parents. So it's one of those things that I feel like that's something that we can all find camaraderie in or sometimes commiserate with.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, so we'll jump into this. As you guys are tuning in, as you're watching, feel free to give this video a like, say hi in the comments, say hi to Lauren. We're going to get things rolling. So for those of you that don't know, Lauren is a client of mine. We have been working since October. And yeah, let's just go ahead and kind of introduce and give the audience a bit of a backstory on who you are, how old you are, what do you do for work, and where you're from. Just start from there.
Okay. So my name is Lauren. I'm 36. I was born and raised in Southern California, and I currently live in Ojai. I'm a teacher. This is my 14th year teaching. And so, and I teach English, which is the best subject in my humble opinion. But yeah, it's, I'm basically close to family still and it's good.
That's awesome.
And I have 2 boys. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
we've established.
Mom of 2. That's cool. What got you into teaching? Just curious.
Well, so when I was in college, I kind of went through like, all the different majors. I couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do, but my consistent thing was that I was taking English classes for fun, which is apparently very strange.
That's not normal. I'm just kidding.
That's what everyone says, but I'm like, no, it's good. And it sort of occurred to me then that like, okay, there's something to this. I really like English. So many of my friends were like, English class is terrible. And so I kind of wanted to make that different for people because I wanted them to see what I saw in it. So seemed like the right path, and I started getting my credential and my master's, and then I went into teaching, and I love it.
That's awesome. And so you found your passion and you kind of locked into it, and
like,
you have kind of like a light bulb moment where you're like, oh, like everybody doesn't like this, and I kind of really like this, so I think I'm gonna go for it. So and then
I'm gonna change that for people, hopefully. And I think I did have some former students. I'm in a chat group with some of my former students because we periodically get together. And there was a Barnes & Noble book sale, and all the hardcovers were half off. And all of a sudden, the chat is going off, and I'm like, "What are they on about?" And I read, someone's like, "I'm about to spend all my Christmas money on books," and it was like,
"That's awesome."
So I feel like cool. I've been successful.
Good deal. That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's chat about like your journey. Let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So like, before you and I worked together, which, like I said earlier, we started working together in October, I believe. What was kind of like your biggest struggle, kind of like in your fitness journey at the beginning anyways?
So, and because I'm a teacher, I'll just show you guys, I literally wrote down things that I wanted, like highlights and points I wanted to make.
Good.
But there wasn't a fitness journey. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of binge dieting or just like those fad diets, but working out was not my cup of tea. I didn't quite know what to do. I didn't feel comfortable in a gym. I will only still to this day will only run if I'm being chased by someone who's holding a weapon or one of my children is in danger. I'll run.
Yeah, for sure.
But getting me to actually just go outside and run is not a thing I do.
I'm not a big runner either, so you're in good company.
It's just not fun. Yeah. And I know that like I wanted to lose weight, and so I went about all the easy ways, the quick fix ways, like, oh, try this supplement. It doesn't work. Eat like 900 calories. You're hungry, and then later on you eat like 900 calories or 9,000 calories. So doesn't work. things just weren't sustainable. So there wasn't a huge fitness journey. I did do yoga for a while because I loved it. But then when I moved, I didn't go to my yoga studio. I just didn't join a new one. So this is like my first big jump back into really taking control of that, taking control of my life and trying to make better changes, bigger changes to be healthy, because that wasn't going to happen just chilling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's awesome. And I think that that's really cool that like you kind of had the wherewithal to be like, I'm like, these things aren't working. I'm not going to keep trying to do these same things that don't work. Right. I want to, make a real change and do something that's like sustainable long term. So that's awesome. And like, I like the transparency too of like, you're like just being like, well, really wasn't a fitness journey kind of before like I got back into it. And so, and I think a lot of times it's common for people to, hop from things. Like a lot of times it's that kind of shiny object syndrome, or it's just from not like really like knowing what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And once you find something that does work, or once you find something that is sustainable for long term, that's like kind of like backed by like one results into like like science and things like that, it's just like, oh, like I don't have to like starve myself, or oh, I don't have to like drink these weird shakes or take this weird supplement that makes my stomach hurt. You know what I mean? Like,
and
so yeah,
that's
cool.
just it. It's like trying to do those things and then keep up with them, and it's just like, man, like I don't want to do this. I don't want to take like 14 different supplements of algae.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah. No. It's like, can you see yourself doing that for the rest of your life?
Yeah. It just didn't seem like something I was going to do, 6 months from then.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to be like 80, like in a rocking chair, like having to like slug back algae sludge. Like,
right.
That just doesn't sound.
Just like, no, it's time for my daily algae.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but so before you and I started working together, when there wasn't really a fitness journey, or when you were kind of like, trying these different things, how was that kind of like negatively impacting you? Like, how do you feel like that was like, I guess, not having a positive effect?
Well, I mean, just like on the very, base level of it, just the lack of energy. I was always tired, and I have 2 tiny tornadoes that are constantly tearing through this house, and I was just like, man, I don't have time or energy for this. Like, what am I doing? And then there's the whole thing of feeling comfortable in my body, feeling confident, self-worth. I didn't feel like I was, I don't know, just kind of like I didn't feel like I deserved all these things, because here I was just kind of like, I wasn't at my peak, I guess. I mean, I'm still not. I'm still working towards that. But the huge dip in confidence was pretty, it kind of got to the breaking point where I was like, I've got to do something different, because I don't want to, I'm going to be living in this body the whole time I'm alive. Like, I got to take care of it, because I'm not going to be able to change that. And I don't want to be unhappy with myself. I don't want to like hyper focus on all the things that are wrong when I can change things. I can make things different.
Yeah.
So just trying to constantly improve those things, learning that, my body is I guess it sounds very cheesy to me. My body is a temple, so I must take care of it, that kind of thing. But like, this brought 2 children into the world.
Yeah.
It gets me going every day. It's
absolutely,
you have to actually put in that effort, that work. So
yeah. No, I love that. That's awesome. And it's true. And it's one of those things too. It's like, a lot of times people don't recognize until they have kids, or that having, just even for me, having one kid, like it adds like 10 different dimensions to like everything else that you're doing in your life. It's like it's around your kid. And so sometimes it's hard to, it's hard to create these new habits and these routines, or be consistent with these things whenever you've also got, like you said, like 2 tiny tornadoes, like, constantly like either distracting you from things, or taking, like, and like kids take a lot of time and energy and resources and mental bandwidth and, and energy. And so it's one of those things that it's like, if you're, a parent out there, like it, I'm not gonna lie, like having kids makes it harder to take care of yourself in some aspects, at least at the beginning, because you're trying to like, you're trying to readjust your life to you know, handling kids and handling yourself and taking care of yourself. And so,
Right.
yeah, a lot of
Finding
times I feel like,
balance.
yeah, finding that balance. And a lot of times
Hmm.
parents too, I feel like we're really parents and caretakers, which kind of one and the same, like people who are like nurses, people who are, you know, in medical fields and things like that, like and teachers too, like caretaker, you know, we're trying to, like, you know, help
Yeah,
people. Like we put ourselves on the back burners a lot of times because we are like, oh well, we got to take care of these other people before we can take care of ourselves a lot of times, which
exactly.
makes sense, why we feel like that, but then it ends up having the opposite effect that we want, because then we end up, you know, not taking care of ourselves. And so when we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of others at our best. So
Yeah.
like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel about that? Like from the beginning, being kind of maybe in that mindset a little bit to where you're at now.
It was a wake up call, because I mean, I have this very like, so I will say I have ADHD, like
Yeah.
clinically diagnosed with ADHD. So focusing on myself means focusing on myself. And then when there are kids in the mix, suddenly I was like, okay, well, I've got to put that focus on them. And it was like, I don't exist anymore. They
Yeah.
exist. So and then I almost hyper focused
It's that like
on
object
making sure.
permanence. Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Like that lack
gotta,
of, yeah. I got you there. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. No,
yeah.
that's,
So it took, apparently it took me 7 years
yeah.
to
And that's
figure out
okay.
how to balance that, taking care of me, because when I'm taken care of, I'm a better parent,
Yeah.
I'm a better teacher, all those things, and then balancing those things, and prioritizing what's important, what isn't, like what can I let go of right now, because oftentimes I didn't want to let go of any of it.
Yep.
But it's, again, learning that it was also okay to take
Mhm.
time for myself, and that my
Yeah.
kids would be okay. Like right now, technically I'm taking time for myself to do this. Like my
Yeah.
kids are hopefully not destroying the house,
Yeah.
but they're kids, so like who
Yeah.
knows.
Absolutely.
Um it's an adjustment for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you one of my friends, actually, I think you know her, Shannon, she
Yeah.
says, and this relates to teaching, but it kind of relates just to parenting too. You got to feed yourself before
Yep.
so you don't eat the
Mhm.
kids.
Yep. Yep.
So if you
It's the wolf, like that wolf
yeah,
mother kind of like that
feed
story of
yourself
the
so you
wolf
don't
mother.
eat your kids, and I don't
Yep.
want to eat my children, so
Yep. Well, you have
doing
to
those
be,
little things makes a huge difference.
yeah, yeah, and you have to be like, it's one of those things where it's like you have to be selflessly selfish. That's kind of like
Hmm.
how I would like to kind of like how I would like to phrase it, is like you have to be like selfish for the sake of others. Like it's a
Yeah.
weird thing. It's like you have to like take care of yourself. Like because oftentimes people feel like self care is selfish. They feel like, oh, like if I'm spending time on myself, that's time I'm taking away from the people that I love or the people that I'm taking care of. And it's like that's not
Right.
the case. Like it's like you're taking that time to like optimize yourself and to take care of yourself so you can be, you know, the best version of yourself for others. So I like
Exactly.
that. Cool. So when you and I first met, like what was your initial hesitation to like deciding to work with me? Just curious.
Part of it was like, am I really gonna do this? Like,
Mhm.
Lauren lifting weights. Like I had to like sit there and like imagine that. I'm like, can I do that? And then I was like, of course I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do anything if I try it. Like I can
Yeah.
do it. But then it
Absolutely.
was also like, am I going to get the support I need? Because
Mhm.
it's an investment,
Yeah.
and making sure that I was going to get what I needed. Am I going to get everything I need out of this? Is this going to be like everything else I've done, where I'm like, you know what? I think I'll just not eat any carbs ever again in my life, and I'll
Yeah.
live solely on cheese, and that's going to be
Yeah.
great. But then it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was that. There just the idea that am I am I going to be able to do this
Yeah.
too? Like the self limitation thing, where I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm not in the best shape, but
Yeah.
then also at the same time, I counter that with like, but how am I ever going to get in decent
Yep.
shape if I don't
Yep.
start? Like everyone starts somewhere.
Yep.
um just not fully knowing what to expect, so I was like,
Hmm.
I like to come into things well prepared. Again,
Yeah. That fear
notes.
of, yeah, it's that fear of unknown, or that like that fear, like that
Yeah.
like almost like self-limiting belief, like, you know, am I going to get out of this what I want to get out of it, and two, am I gonna, you know, it's a bet on yourself, right? It's like, and
Hmm.
sometimes people, like, you know, oftentimes we're afraid of betting on ourselves because
Yeah.
if we fail, then it's like, oh, like I fail, or, you know, like and so a lot of times
Right.
we get in our heads, and a lot of times that stops people from actually, taking that step forward and actually kickstarting their journey. And because you see it time and time again, like people are like, yep, I'm going to do my New Year's resolution. And then they do it like 2 or 3 times. And then next year comes around again. Yeah.
I'm going to lose this much weight in this year. And then like 3 days in, I'm like, I'm going to eat, 4 servings of cheese fries.
Yeah. And so for you, like shifting away from that mindset or that mentality, like what were some like things that kind of like clicked in your head, or what were some things that kind of like, helped you shift away from that to where you're at now, where you're more like, like I'm doing this sustainably. I'm doing this for the long haul. This is a journey now, or like a lifestyle change, rather than just like I'm doing this by this time and I want, that kind of deal.
Well, I think first of all, and this goes very much with the program. I had a couple friends who are already part of the prechtelevate program and had seen great success, and I kind of talked to them about it. I said, what should I expect? What is this guy like? Like, am I gonna be able to do this? How are you guys making that work? I hate running. I'm not gonna run. Is this guy gonna make me run? Because I'm not gonna do it.
Nope.
Like that was a huge one. And talking to a couple of my friends who are doing it, Leah and Heather, were already in it and doing great. And I was just like, they sort of eased some of that. And then after having the conversation with you and talking to you and kind of talking through what I wanted to do and what some of my expectations were and what I was afraid of, and actually hearing from you, I was like, I like this guy. I feel like I can listen to him.
He doesn't sound like a scammer or like a jerk or anything. So
I don't feel like someone's just trying to sell me, some sort of supplement and take my supplement and you'll lose like 10 inches by tomorrow, which would be rad, but not going to happen. And you were really upfront and frank about the whole, it's going to take time. Like this is not overnight. And typically whenever I did any kind of workout, I was like, sweet, I worked out. Everything's great. I'm going to wake up a size 4 tomorrow. And then I didn't wake up a size 4 and I was like, this doesn't work.
Shifting that perspective and those expectations.
Just kind of knowing like this is a journey. It is absolutely a journey, and that you're going to have ups and downs and there's going to be bumps in the road. And I'm here to help you, stay on the road and get back into it. And, also the community in the prechtelevate group, that it's phenomenal.
I was gonna mention that. I was gonna say, like, how do you like the community, like, because I don't know if you've been a part of other, like, because sometimes like Beachbody and things like that have like communities and things like that, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like
community. I've been part of the Arbonne community, like and this one is so supportive. It's motivating. That has been huge. The most recent, the 24 days to Christmas, that was awesome. I'm like, every day I still take pictures of my stuff and I was like, should I just post it anyway?
You should.
Because it was fun, and it kept me, thinking about it. It's a great group of people. You and Coach Jessica are amazing. Like, I feel like I could go to either of you, be wholly supported, ask questions. You guys are awesome.
And it's nice too, because like not only is it a community of people working towards like their fitness goals or like their weight loss goals, but also it's like 95% of the people in there are parents or are like, and it's one of those things where it's like, you're around a bunch of other parents who are like also trying to work towards similar goals that are just like that. It's like, you can talk about like, it's like, oh my gosh, my kid was like just like made a giant mess and like, it's been crazy today, but I still got my workout. And it's just like, that kind of like serves as like inspiration, or it's kind of like, a shining, like kind of like light. It's like, oh shit, like so-and-so that has 3 kids and like, works full time and got like, their kids were sick, but they still got shit. If they can do that, like, I can show up for myself too. And it's really cool to see that. So I love that that mission is being accomplished in the community. Like, we do fun challenges in there. Like, you just won Meal Prep Monday today, which was cool. So like, so we do, like in the group, but like we do fun challenges every week. And like right now, we're doing like there's like a Fitbit giveaway kind of deal that we're doing. It's just,
I know that's,
it's just cool. Fun incentives. It's just fun. It's just incentives to like, it's like, you can do it, like, but it's even more fun to do it and more, more adherent to do it if you've got shit that you can win for just like showing up for yourself, right? So it's
Exactly.
so,
I
yeah.
mean, how cool is it to basically be given incentives to take care of yourself, which should
Yeah.
be incentive enough.
Yeah. Well, you're
Like
right.
that's
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
like,
Yeah. But in those days where it's like, oh gosh, sometimes when people are just like, gosh, I feel like maybe I won't, and then they're like, oh, Fitbit, I'm gonna go do
yeah, or I
it.
mean, like just knowing too, it's like someone's watching.
Yeah.
That's huge,
Yeah.
knowing that someone is paying attention to what I'm doing, and
Mhm.
sure, they might have a Fitbit, at the
Yeah.
end of whatever challenge, but like it's the
Yeah.
accountability that
The
more than
accountability.
anything. Like I said, with the 24 days to Christmas, I'm missing that because I liked the accountability.
Yep.
It made me make sure that I was going to get it done.
Yeah. Yep. And just having that layer of accountability and like another set of eyes on, if like a problem arises, or if like your schedule changes, or like you're like, oh, like maybe your gym gets shut down or something like that just like can't be like necessarily predicted. But if it happens, and like just the chaos of life, it's like, oh, like, well, we can adapt that and work around it. And just like, if and
Yeah.
it's one of those things that's cool, because like you can literally just send me a message about it, and then it gets taken care of, and then we're problem solving and moving forward. And it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I think the adaptability of it, and just the fact that, like, because a lot of people are, like, not a lot of people argue, but there's that like concept of like, oh, well, like, online versus in person, right? It's like a lot of times people think like, oh, if I have an in-person trainer, I'm gonna be more adherent. But it's one of those things. It's like, well, one, you can skip the gym just as easily,
You
and
can.
you're only adherent for that like 30 minutes a day that you're at the gym. And then outside of that, it's like, oh, like, you can be doing whatever other people could be, eating whatever, like. But like with what we do, it's just like, it's so like in depth. It's so like, oh, like, monitoring like your food, like monitoring like, like if you're doing your workouts or not, like, and like, and
Mhm.
also calling you out if you don't do them, kind of deal. It's like,
Yes.
it's one of those things that it's way, I think it's way more in depth. And I think it's more of an added value being online than it is being, in person. In all honesty, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel? Like, I mean, obviously you like it because you're in it,
I'm
but,
still
but
here.
I was just
I mean,
curious.
if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be here
Yeah, I
anymore.
know. Yeah.
I mean, first of all, the idea for me to step foot in a gym was already overwhelming because I was like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And I like having the fact that I can message you and you're quick to respond. I will say
Yeah.
that you are very quick to respond.
Within 24 hours, or I better be
Uh-huh.
dead or in a hospital. That's what I
I mean,
say.
I've literally sent you messages and I'm like, well, this was a ridiculous time to send it, and had a response. So,
Yeah.
um, but I like that. Part of it too is I can check in, I can check in, I can ask questions. It's not like just in those 30 minutes I'm at the
Mhm.
gym where it's like, get it all done now, because I
Yeah.
am that person who will come up with like 487 other questions after the fact. And
Yeah.
then the minute that happens, I'm like, I guess I'm waiting until next week.
Yeah.
Or however I mean, I don't know, because I haven't actually done an
Yeah.
in-person trainer. But this has been great also because, again, we're busy, I'm work, I'm a parent, it's convenient to have it be in this format, I
Yeah.
find. Just because I can manage all these other things, and I'm not like, oh man, I have to be at the gym by this time to meet with my trainer or else.
Yep.
Um, and it doesn't, like, one of the things that I was telling some of my friends who were interested was just
Mhm.
like, it doesn't feel like, like I'm just waiting for, the auto response. Like,
Yep.
it's thought out. It works for me. It works with the
Yeah.
time that I'm available.
And it's crazy too, because like, and that's why I think it's so effective, especially for parents, because it is adaptive. Like, you don't have to work out at this specific time every single day. Like, you have your workout and you can choose when you do it.
Right.
So if like shit hits the fan and it's like, oh, like, like what's happening, like, what's going on, kind of deal. Like, you can do it when it's convenient. You can do it when it's, not as, I guess, not as like, it's, you don't have to miss a workout, right? Like, you can do it at night, or you can do it, in the morning. You can do it whenever, it works for you. And so I think that that's something that's really, really like helpful when it comes to that. And so,
Yeah. Sorry, I had to
um,
get the my dog was knocking and he's he's old and blind, and
No, you're fine.
we're
I
sorry
was wondering what
about
that jingling was.
But
I
now
was
look,
like,
it's
did she
light.
just pick like keys up off the ground? But no, it was a dog.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, it was the dog. He's
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So we've been working together since October now, and so like, just what sort of results have you been able to accomplish since we've been working together? Like whether that be mindset wise, physically, like health wise, energy wise, things like that. Like
this is my most exciting and favorite part to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We started in mid-October.
Yep.
I'm down a size. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, it is.
I haven't
Yeah.
been down a size in since before I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And that feels really, really great. And definitely things are toning up and tightening
Yeah.
up. Like, there's not as much, this sounds so bad, but movement
Yeah. Yeah.
of skin.
Yeah. Let's
And
freaking go.
like, that's a win. That's a
Yeah.
win.
That's huge. That's awesome.
And I've definitely noticed too, just like, aside from like the physical changes, energy, like I have more energy, which is huge because with my kids, like, they require a lot of it because they have a lot of it. So that's been amazing. Definitely my mentality too. Like, I'm more confident. There's always going to be that, sometimes I'm like, question things, but then I'm able to turn it around now and just be like, hey, look what I've done. Like, this is amazing. It's only going to get better.
Absolutely.
Whereas before I was like, I suck.
No,
I should just go eat more fries. Like, and you notice that I mentioned fries a lot because I really do like them.
Yeah.
And I do still eat them. But I eat them in moderation. I consider
exactly
what I'm eating and how many I really need to be like satisfied.
Yeah, for sure.
Just the way things fit has been really nice. I feel strong, which I've never felt strong before. Also, like, my quads, you guys. It sounds so silly, and Austin can tell you, I was getting really in for the month of November. I was like, I'm gonna do 50 squats a day, which I went from doing no squats a day, or my first prechtelevate leg day, which I was like, I can't move. Funny story about that, but I'll save it. But like, I'm gonna do 50 squats a day, and I've been consistent, and I did the 50 squats a day, and I kept into it until probably like Christmas with doing my 50 squats a day, and then I got a Peloton bike, and now my legs hurt anyway. I'm getting used to it. So I don't always do my 50 squats a day, but the fact of the matter is, like, I can do that now. And that's something that I didn't think I'd ever be able to do, but like, my quads are rocks. It's amazing.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm so happy for you too. And it's just like, I mean, you've been putting in that work. And
trying.
And it's one of those things. It's like when you put in the work, and if you have a good game plan too at the same time while putting in the work, because people can work hard toward in the wrong direction, but it just, you get the results. And I think that's really cool that you're seeing these changes, like, in your body, that you're seeing these changes in your mentality and your energy levels. And so, like, do you feel like outside of those things, how do you feel like those have been like impacting your life, whether that be like family wise or work wise, or like like in your relationships and things like that?
I mean, I would definitely say the biggest thing is that extra energy I have now. Who knew that, like, working out, I thought that was just going to make me more tired. But now I have more energy. Like, I
think you're muted. That's okay. Oh, I think we're good now. Can you hear me? Oh, nope, you're still muted, but that's okay. Let's see. Can we unmute you? Let's see. Let's see. I think you're muted still. That's okay. Can you hear me? That's okay. Here, one sec. Let's go ahead and try to unmute you and then mute you. Huh. Oh, I think she's going to pop back in here in just a sec. Technical difficulties, and that's okay. That's part of it. She'll probably be back in just a sec. Good time for a water break. Oh, there we go. Hey, there we go.
I have no idea what just happened.
That's okay. That's funny.
I think it's because I'm on my phone, and then my phone rang, and then the kids heard the phone and came bursting in, and I was like, "Can anyone hear me anymore?" I don't
No.
think so yeah, I hope you all took a water break, or maybe
I did.
got
I
in
literally,
some
yeah, I was
stretching,
literally
maybe did some squats.
rehydrating. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Here's one of them right now. By
Hi.
the way, this is James.
Hi,
Say hi.
James.
Say hi.
Hi.
That's my kid's middle name. Yeah,
Yeah.
Finnegan James. So hi.
Yeah, it's a good name, huh?
Oh my gosh.
So back to what I was saying, the energy, because this one has a lot of it, and the other one does too. Like
Yeah.
the other day, and this is gonna sound so cheesy, but I played basketball with my kids.
That's awesome.
I could never have done that like 3-4 months ago
Yeah.
without lasting for more than a minute. I'd have been
Yeah.
like, all right, mom's gonna sit down,
Yeah.
drink a gallon of water to make up for the, it would have been too much. But now
Yeah.
it's like I can go out there and run around with them. I can go out there and play basketball, and I can keep up with them, and that has made a huge difference in being a parent, like the fact
What
that
day, Mama?
what day is it? Today is Tuesday. What's on your face?
That got be Sunday.
In a couple of days. So there's that, and then at work, I definitely feel like I have more energy, more stamina. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Parenting,
That's
guys.
part of it. That's part of it.
And that has been a big deal too, because we returned to in person, and I was very used. Thank you. I was very used to teaching from home, sitting at my desk. Then I would, go lay on the couch or go out and grab a quick cup of coffee, come back. So just being able to move around, get around, have the energy for that, because it does take more energy to be in person when you're, that has been huge. Just feeling happier and more confident.
Yeah.
Those things have made a difference, I think, in my overall daily outlook, which makes me a happier and probably more thoughtful person.
Yeah.
Which
I
just got kicked in the arm. Swimming lessons in the summer. This sorry about this. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen, and at the same time, it's like the summer. Being able, stuff like that. I'll have hey, that's woo. James, do you want to go for your special lunch?
I ate it all.
He ate it all, apparently.
Special lunch.
The Pokemon cards and the special lunch. If you still want to go, can you go out there for 5 more minutes?
Not yet.
Okay, then you gotta be quiet and sit still. Sit very still. Okay.
But can I put my legs on here?
No, because that hurts, Mama.
I do.
Cool.
If there's like a foot that randomly just crops up,
that's okay. That's okay.
Parenting friends.
Yeah. So for anyone that's listening right now that's thinking about starting their own journey coming into the new year, because we are, 2022 is fast approaching, what would you say to them if they're thinking about starting their own journey? Like,
do it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
I have to interrupt you. Just do it, you guys. Like it's amazing. There was a time where I'd been like, why would I waste my energy that I don't have doing? He's singing to you guys. He's really excited about it. But
thank you.
Do it today. Honestly, it's just the support network with prechtelevate is amazing. The coach, amazing. You just get it done. You invest in yourself. You are so worth it. If I can do it, literally anyone can do it, because I was pretty sure that I was never going to lift anything above. Granted, my children are heavy, but that was the only reason I was lifting things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you've got this. If you're sitting there and you're on the fence and you're like, can I do this? Yes, you can. Should I do this? Yes, you should. And will I do this? Yes, you absolutely will. Because
let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. They are worth it. Everybody,
you got this.
We're all worth it.
Here's a foot and
let's go.
This is what I'm seeing right now. So y'all should see that too. This is James's way of telling you, get it done. So
oh my goodness. He's
with fidget spinners in your face.
He's like, we're cutting it. We're cutting this live, Mom. We're cool. But yeah, other than that, that's all I really had. Any last words or anything like that? Any final thoughts or golden nuggets or anything like that that you'd like to share before we let things come to a close?
You did it again. Oh, you like kicked something and I was like, everything's gone again. If you are looking for something sustainable, something that you can stick to, this is it. If you are looking for like a rad group of people to keep you motivated and to make new friends, like, because let's be honest, being parents, that kind of takes some of your social life away, unless your only social life is.
He's like, yes, it does. I'm taking all of your social life
cool
away.
because you can still. We still have conversations, and it's not always like, guess how much I lifted today, or guess what I ate today. Like, there's a community. It feels like a family. It's a friend group. It's really cool, and you're so worth it. So invest in yourself. It's once again toes and a fidget spinner. It's this is the best thing I've done for myself, and I feel like, aside from these guys, aside from this little nugget here, those are pretty awesome things to do.
I love it. I appreciate you, Lauren. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
And we'll leave it at that. So yeah, guys, New Year's coming up, and if you're thinking about changing your life, and if you're thinking about making a change and investing in yourself in the journey, send us a message. Like Lauren said, like, you are worth it. You absolutely are worth it. And come join the community, come join the family, come join the culture, and we will
come hang out, guys.
Yeah, come hang out. We'll talk to you all later. Have a good one. And peace, guys.